Payday 2, a sequel to the game of the same name. It's a 4-man co-op, wave-based shooter, and... Okay, look, I know this is the third game review that I'm doing based on not just another sequel, but also another wave-based shooter. I promise this will be my last one for a long time, mainly because I don't have any more wave-based shooters. So this game is pretty old, like 7 years old. So why am I doing a review on this game now? Well, the game is still getting updates after all these years. Not only is it being updated constantly, it is always on sale. It's like they look for any random reason to put it on sale. Labor Day? Now on sale. Christmas? Sale. A dog wearing a hat? Super sale. Anyways, in this game you play as the anti-heroes who are after some big fat loots. Which means, unlike any previous games, this time you play as the bad guys. The main objective of this game is to take on contracts to steal items and to gather as much money as you can for a big, fat, wait for it, payday. Just like in real life, the only natural hunters of bank robbers are the noble police force. Which leads to everyone's favorite skit. Hey, you know what's cooler than having an army of mindless rat soldiers and dirty zombie men?
Oh, what's that, dear old chap?
You ready for this? Endless waves upon waves of policemen.
Meh.
Oh, not impressed? Did I forget to mention that you also get to play as John Wick?
Say what, oh boy?
Now, compared to the previous wave shooters that I've reviewed, there's a lot more to this game. So let's get down into the nitty gritty. Hey, see this baby? This game right here packs a wide variety of masks. We talking silly to serious, evil and nice, and just downright comical. Now, to get these aforementioned masks, at the end of each round you have a potential to unlock one when you choose a random reward card. Once you have earned the mask, you must pay to have it made. Now, some of these masks can be unlocked by doing challenging achievements, while other masks can simply be earned by joining Steam communities. Then, of course, there is DLC masks, which are locked behind paid DLC, and that's something I'll touch on later as usual. Next, we have the armor that you can go into missions with. Bigger the armor, the more your stats will suffer. Armor will affect your movement speed, detection rate, and concealment. But what does that matter when you're tanking an army of kind of trained SWAT teams? There are outfits that you can choose from, but this doesn't really do anything except affect your self-esteem. Then there are 22 different characters to pick from. Just like the outfits, they do nothing but affect your self-esteem. And, well, they do have custom voice lines. The only real unique character would have to be Rust, which is made in the image of and voiced by Ron Perlman.
And what's this? Is that John Cena?
Oh, wait, no, that's someone else. Majority of these characters are, however, locked behind paid DLC. On to the perk system. Well, in the game it's called the perk deck, but it's pretty extensive. There's a huge variety of styles that you can choose to better fit your playstyle. But really, there's only like 4 to choose from for in-game stuff. Leveling up a card in the deck requires you to spend every bit of XP you have earned while playing. Now, after you choose the size of your deck, you want to go into the skills tree. Many of the things you choose in the deck will coincide with the skills you choose. Each time you level up in game, you earn a skill point. And depending on the tier of the skill will depend on how many skill points it takes to initially unlock it and then later fully unlock it. Each of these initial unlocks will give you a new passive skill, while the full unlock gives you a bonus to that skill. Perk deck choices and skill choices will coincide to make you the ultimate death machine. And now for the final piece of the puzzle, the weapons. This game has a stupid amount of weapons to choose from. You have your primaries with the usual assault rifles, shotguns, LMGs, snipers, akimbo pistols, akimbo SMGs, akimbo shotguns, and special weapons like bows and miniguns. Then you have your secondary weapons such as pistols, SMGs, specials, and shotguns. Besides the starting weapons, each weapon must be purchased, with some of them costing in the millions. Then there are explosives like grenades and throwing weapons and melee weapons. Now, of course, there are certain weapons that are the much needed for endgame, but if you're just getting into this game, then choose what you want. Have fun before this ends up becoming a job for you. Each weapon can be modified with different skins and attachments. You earn attachments from the random end match lottery just like you would with masks. Or you can buy them outright with Continental Coins, a new currency introduced with the John Wick DLC. See, most of the time you cannot purchase the items unless you have it on hand. I know, it sounds really confusing, so this is the best way I can simplify it. You can only earn attachments from the lucky lottery draw. Once you have the attachment, you have to pay to attach it to your gun. With Continental Coins, however, it will allow you to own the item and install it all with one easy payment. Continental Coins are rare, but there is a mission that allows you to obtain them. Whew. Okay, now that is all over, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this game. The game's main thing is heists. Going into CrimeNet, random jobs will appear on a map. If you don't see one you like, you just wait for the timer to diminish and the job disappears and a new one will take its place. Can't find one that you really want to do? Been waiting for a really long time? Well, you can just click on contacts and choose the specific one that you want. The only difference between choosing from the contact list and waiting on CrimeNet is that you have to pay a contact fee. Each heist will feature 1 out of 3 options. Loud, where you go in guns blazing. Stealth, where it's stealth only and being caught will fail the heist for you. And loud with stealth as an option. These are missions that can be done entirely in stealth, and upon completing it will earn you extra cash. If caught, well, now you have a firefight on your hands and things can be a little bit more tricky. Some heists have an additional length called days. These vary from 1 day, which is essentially 1 match, or 3 days, which means 3 back-to-back missions. Oh, and by the way, each heist is not about robbing a bank. There's different things like insurance fraud, carjacking, art theft, ancient relic stealing, escort missions, jailbreak, goat napping, assassination, meth making, and breaking into the White House. Hey, I did say you're playing as the bad guy. There's even a Halloween event that goes on every year where you spin a magic wheel that would determine what is coming to kill you. Seriously, it's like a weird fever dream and you start asking yourself, am I still playing the same game? Then there's a safe house that comes under attack every 3 in-game days. You can either let the bots take care of it, or you go in and defend your home. This is the only way to earn Continental Coins. Now you can use these coins to upgrade your safe house, but it's pretty unnecessary to do that when you can just use the coins for buying mods that you want. I also like the safe house because it's a great way to just put on the heaviest body armor and just go to town with a minigun. So here's something a bit random they decided to do. They just randomly decided to be like, hey, let's add VR to this game and make it free, haha! The VR version of this game is what got me to fall back into this game pretty hard. Just the pure, excitable chaos of running around, getting into intense gunfights while trying to steal bags full of cash just brings on a whole new dimension of fun for this game. You actually get quite an advantage in VR. You can peek around corners, if you're dual wielding, you can aim in 2 different directions, you can even repair or revive a friend and still shoot with your free hand. Best of all is that VR players can play with desktop players.
Now, it's time for me to talk about the bad parts of the game.
For a game that includes stealth, it is a really weird stealth system. Such things as you can't pick locks while casing the joint. You can't sneak up behind someone and judo chop a guard and hide their body in a giant pillowcase, nor can you rewire security cameras. Heck, you can't even open doors. There is a skill that lets you pick up key cards or keys that are laying on a table, but that's the thing. You have to unlock the skill first, which takes quite a bit of skill points. So in order to do the things that a normal human can do, you have to put on your mask, pull out your gun, freak out all the civilians, alert the guards of your intentions, just so you can open a door. Yeah. You also spend a lot of time waiting. Waiting for a computer to be hacked, waiting for a server box to be hacked, waiting for a drill to finish drilling, and even waiting to hear the ingredients to make meth. Worst case is that you have to defend these points because the police will run over there and stop the process from happening. Yeah, they'll just run over to the box you're trying to hack and just kick it and stop the hacking from happening. Worse are the drills because they overheat. So a lot of the time you're just sitting there in a corner man blasting all over the place, and once in a while you have to stop to repair the drill and go back to manscaping. Speaking of man blasting, you'll empty your load rather quickly, and there are only two ways of getting ammo. Either from cops who might drop a tiny bit of ammo to ammo bags that hopefully someone on your team brought with them. Of course, there are skills that let you get more ammo drops from the cops after I think every 6 kills, but still not enough because you have to share all that ammo drops with your buddies.
And now, the final negative, DLC.
This game has a redonkulous amount of DLC, 60 to be precise, currently. I mean, the game has been out for 7 years and it still has paid DLC coming out. Majority of them are under $10, but still, that's a lot of extra content. Majority of them will add, extra weapons or weapon modifications. Character packs will add a new character and weapon that they think that person would use. Luckily, the John Wick pack is free. Here's the thing though, you don't need it. You don't need any of these DLCs. The base game offers so much to do that you'd feel overwhelmed even before needing to buy the additional heists, characters, weapons, attachments, and whatnot. Thing is though, if you know someone who owns everything, you can just experience those maps with them. Try it out, see if it's a map that you must really have. Sure, some of the meta weapons are DLC stuff, but if you are to the point where you are going hardcore in this game, playing at the max difficulty and need an edge, then at that point you're in love with this game and should already have the DLC. I rate things on an imaginary scale called FET. Fun, effort, and time. It's a type of summary to explain why I think a game is a get or a forget. Fun. If you can get a dedicated group of heisters, this game is a lot of fun. Sneaking around the White House only for your buddy to get caught because his booty was too big, and having shootout can be a lot of fun. Even a successful silent approach brings in enjoyment as you essentially play peekaboo with the roaming AI. The multitudes of weapons, mods, characters, masks, heists, and their goals will keep you entertained into trying more. If you have VR, the enjoyment factor ramps up when you experience everything in the virtual world and the sneaky things you can get away with. For fun as this game can be, there's a lot to learn. You have to learn which gun is better suited for what difficulty, which perk deck is the best, and which skill is needed in this particular heist. Oh, and not to mention, you gotta make sure that your perk deck, skill choices, and weapons all coincide with each other or you're just doing things pointlessly. Then there is memorizing the maps and their random variations so you can quickly get through in the quickest time possible. Just to try all the pretty weapons, you need to have a ton of money, which means you need to be doing a lot of heists, successfully mind you. Finally, just to get to the end game, you have to get to level 100, and then you can start working on your infamy rank, which introduces you to even more difficulties in itself. This game is not time friendly. On average, a one-day heist can be 20 plus minutes long. That's even if you are super stealthy and are able to get to the items without ever being spotted. That's because you have to spend a lot of time hiding, waiting for an NPC to move away, and then quickly hustling over to the next spot and wait for the next NPC to move. So just imagine trying to do a 3-day heist. Might as well kiss your family goodbye.
Final verdict.
So Payday 2. I'd have to say that this game is a get.
Now, why on earth would we do that when it seems like the game is a lot of effort and time?
You probably just asked out loud. Simple. The base game goes on sale constantly.
So?
You question me ignorantly? It goes on sale for $5 and as low as $1. While the Legacy Collection goes on sale on average around $12, I have seen it go on sale for $5. That's 32 DLCs including several more weapons, heists, and characters. I look at it this way. At some point, you can pay $1 for a game with VR capabilities, a co-op shooter, and has more than 100 hours in the base game alone. I'm all about saving money and trying to save you money, and at $1, there is not much to lose. Well, besides $1 and the large amount of hours you put into the game, but still. For $4, you and 3 of your friends can be playing this wave-based shooter. Even if this game does not end up being your cup of tea, it's really hard to be upset about losing $1 in a full-fledged game. With that all being said, don't get the game at its usual price of $10. I promise you it will go on sale again. So if you miss a past sale, I wouldn't worry. Unlike a dad who went out for a pack of cigarettes, it'll be back.
20 treats is 20 treats.